All right, so next I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the mobility tools. So when do you use them? Why do you use them? Where do you use them? That's kind of what this talk is about. The biggest thing is that you incorporate them, especially when you're sore or when you notice some tightness or some pain, right? So this can be before a run. This could be after a run. This can be on your off days. This doesn't have to be any specific time. The most important thing is that you're using them if you need them, right? So there's a lot of different things. So to start, I'm going to go with the easy one. These have gotten a lot more affordable over the years. This is a cheap one off of Amazon. Nothing special. It's like probably 30 bucks, right? And so I just turn it on, and then I can work through sore tissues really easily just by hand, right? So I'll just work through the tissues, trying not to hit any like hard structures with the bones because that's not comfortable. But work through all the tissues that are tight. If you have a little bit of tightness in that lateral quads, IT band, or through the calves, right? You're going to do that through the glutes. This is a really good, nice tool to have just because it's sometimes these specific spots might be a little hard to dig in on your own. But having something like this just really helps mobilize it and get it moving easier. Okay, so following that, we have this guy. This is just a massage roller stick. If you look those words up, massage roller stick on Amazon, I think this one's like $9. It's called Idson. But all it is basically a roller that you'll use to prep the muscles and get them moving and get the blood flow to them. So I use these on my quads, on my calves, on my hamstrings quite a bit. I have one in my house, I have one at work, and I'm just constantly doing this kind of all day long. And it's really nice to work out some of the soreness. It can help a little bit with working out some of that like lactic acid feel after a hard effort. But more than anything, I use these on recovery days. All right, next to that, I always have one of these in my house too. It's called a Pro Stretch, right? So they sell these at Fleet Feet and on Amazon. And what the important thing about the Pro Stretch is that it puts you in a stretch for your plantar fascia as well as your calf. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Put it back a little bit. And what you do is you just stand on these, right? And then usually up against the wall so you have some balance. But you're going to pull it back until you feel a stretch. And then usually you're just standing all the way up. Here, let me move. So we're going to get in this position. And then you just pull back until you feel a good stretch, right? So the good thing, like I said, was that it puts my toe into a little bit of extension, which stretches out that plantar fascia in the bottom of the foot, but it also stretches the calf really well. I'll also sometimes, instead of just doing static hold, like 30-second holds, I'll work in and out with a bent knee to a straight knee, because when I do that, I'm incorporating that soleus, and this is kind of like what we do when we run, right? So doing some of these can help get things moving really well. Okay. One more recovery tool that's really important is a foam roller. Again, very cheap. Amazon has them. Just about any sports store has them. But you can do a lot of good with one of these just laying in the floor. So a lot of times what I'll do with the foam roller is I'll just work out the major muscles. So I'm going to go over my quads, my lateral quads, my hamstrings, and my glutes, right? So first, let's say I'll start at the hip flexors, working my way down. The only hard part about this is obviously you have to use your hands on the floor to roll these things out. But getting in these positions and kind of rolling over these sore spots is going to be really helpful, especially as you do the longer runs and speed work. And so what I'm doing here is I'm using my arms, I'm using my other foot to kind of unweight myself just enough to make it tolerable, right? Sometimes this thing can be pretty brutal. So I'm just being nice enough to myself, but still trying to get into those spots that are really sore. So hitting those major muscle groups is pretty helpful. I tend to hit the upper body more than the lower with these, and tend to use the roller stick for the calves.